What's going on, guys? It's Master Chris 86 back again for another video. Today we're actually going to be looking at the very beginning of my GameCube collection. I don't know if a lot of you guys know, I'm actually a game collector, especially for Nintendo, but I just got more into retro gaming collecting, and one of the systems that I'm trying to focus on right now is actually the Nintendo GameCube, which it's a pretty popular system to collect for. The GameCube and the 64 seem to be really popular right now. But luckily for me, I actually owned a bunch of these games, which are actually kind of rare and expensive now at this point. One of them specifically, which you guys are about to see in a second here. So I figured, you know, I'll show you guys a little bit of what I got going on so far. So in the future, when I start collecting more games, I can actually do pickup videos for new add to the collection. So for right now, I'm focusing on mainly Nintendo stuff. But I'm a little bit of a PlayStation fanboy as well. Xbox kind of lost me a little bit here recently. Like, I used to love the original Xbox. The 360, not as much as the original Xbox, but the Xbox One was kind of a disappointment to me. And with Microsoft having kind of not really cross-platform, but you know, they're allowing you to play a lot of the Xbox games on your computer. I have a gaming laptop, so it makes more sense for me to just play those games on my computer, you know? So today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at what I've got so far in my Nintendo GameCube collection. Now, I got a huge stack right over here. So, if you can peep this, I'll go through them. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly just to get them out of the way, because there's not an insane amount in this collection, but there's definitely some goodies. So, the first one we're going to take a look at is Bloody Roar. Alright, this is actually Bloody Roar Primal Fury, which I believe is the second or third one in the series. I'll have to double check that, but this is a great fighting game. I actually was a huge fan of the original on the PlayStation. It was actually like one of the first 3D fighting games I'd ever played. And once I got my GameCube, I saw that they released this one over here. I had to scoop it up real quick. This game actually, back in the day, was one of my favorite fighters, and so many of my friends refused to play with me just because I got so good at it. Nobody wanted to play with me, which kind of sucks. That's one of the issues with getting too good at a game. You will start smacking up your friends and no one will want to play with you. But yeah, Bloody Roar, definitely a good one. Alright, so the next one, guys, this one right here, I was astounded when I looked online and I saw how much this game is actually going for complete in box. Which I've got it complete in box, and it's in pretty good condition too, but of course, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and I believe this is going for like $140 something online, at least what I saw in the price guide. And honestly, I don't understand why, but the game itself is amazing. I love this game. I played through it, and honestly I kind of want to play through it again because it's been a number of years since I've touched it. But the Fire Emblem games in general, obviously, a lot of people now know because they've started releasing them like on the 3DS and whatnot. But the Fire Emblem series is amazing and definitely well worth checking out if you guys have not played this game yet, if you can get a hold of it. But I'm sure there's emulators or something online either way. Although those are getting a lot harder to find, the ROMs, which I'll actually talk about in another video because that's a whole nother topic. All right. So the next one, a lot of you guys probably know this series, the Tales of series, but this was the one that started it for me. Tales of Symphonia, I have this one, and I believe I have the second one on the Wii, but this one right here is amazing. I love RPGs, and one of the issues with RPGs is it tends to be like a one-player experience. The Tales of Symphonia games, you can actually play multiplayer. So me and my best friend, one of my best friends back in the day, we played through this game and we just shredded through it. Amazing game. So definitely well worth checking out. Alright, this is definitely a fan favorite and a must-have on the GameCube. Animal Crossing. The original Animal Crossing. Not the original because the original came out on N64, but I don't think we got it here in the US. But this was like the first Animal Crossing that, you know, the masses were exposed to over here. And this game was amazing. I didn't even know what it was, and I actually went to a GameStop just, you know, peep a few things, and the dude at the counter sold me on it immediately. As soon as he started talking about it, I was in. And this was sick because it came with an extra memory card. so you could save your game and not have to worry about deleting stuff off your old files, because it's a huge file, and it came with a few other like goodies on there, like music and a few other things. And also this took advantage of the GameCube adapter for the Game Boy Advance, the connector. I use that so much because there's an exploit you can kind of do where you can just get an insane amount of gold. So I pretty much just went back and forth just harvesting gold to pay off that house. So that was a great game too. If you haven't checked out the original, definitely check it out. I'm pretty pumped because we're getting a new one on the Switch, which is definitely going to consume a lot of my life. So that should be pretty fun, but that's another topic there too. Alright guys, so next on the list, we got Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door. Now this game is amazing. I love the Paper Mario series. The original Paper Mario on the N64 is actually one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, this game is just as good. It's a little bit different, and they definitely played on the paper aspect a little bit more in this game, which it's hit or miss with me. I can take it or leave it. Yeah, but either way, it's still a great game for sure. So definitely worth checking out. All right, now this one, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This game, another one of my favorites on the GameCube. I got incredibly addicted to the chows aspect. So in the game, there's actually these little chows that you could raise. They have a little farm and everything, and while you're going through the levels, you actually collect various things to power them up and raise them. So I got super hooked on that, and this consumed a lot of my life for a very long time. But if you haven't played any of these Sonic Adventure games, which I'd be incredibly surprised if you haven't, the second one, absolutely amazing. The first one's great too. I played on Dreamcast like right when that first came out, and that blew my mind, but this one is definitely a great game. Alright, this one right here, this is the second one. I had the first one, and like an idiot, I let somebody borrow it back in the day and they never gave it back. But Beautiful Joe 2. So this is a sequel to the original Beautiful Joe, obviously, but these games are so fun. Unfortunately, I didn't get to beat this game because I actually got stuck. So I played a good amount of it. I played countless hours of it. But I would like to kind of go back, just because it's been a number of years since I've actually touched it, but I would like to go back and try to beat it and see if I can get past that part that I got stuck at. But Beautiful Joe 2, definitely another one that's worth checking out. Alright, another classic for the GameCube, Pikmin, the original Pikmin. This game I had a ton of fun with. I was actually on vacation, and it was around the time when the Super Smash Bros. Melee released. And I looked everywhere for that game. I went to like probably 10 different stores looking for it, and I could not find it at first, but I kept seeing Pikmin at all the different locations, so I ended up scooping it up and got incredibly sucked into this game. And it's another one that I did not finish, which, I don't know, I feel bad. Poor Olimar, he's stuck, he's still stuck on this planet. But this game I played a ton of up until I was able to find Melee, and then once I found Melee, it was game over. I mean, well, that's obvious. Which is still an amazing game to this day. So the original Pikmin, definitely worth checking out, but I'm glad to have this one in my collection too. Alright, so this one was kind of a random buy. This is the Wario World. I love the original Wario games on like the game. I had them on the original Game Boy and like Game Boy Color. So I obviously was like, alright, let's check it out, see what Wario World's about. It's a 3D version, but it's a lot different, and it's still a good game, but definitely not like the original Wario games that I'm a fan of. But it was still a fun play, and it's nice to have in the collection. It looks good, hanging out with all the gold, all the loot. So Wario World, another one in the collection there. Alright, of course you can't have a Nintendo console without having at least one Mario Party game. So I actually have the fifth one as well, but I don't know where the case is. I'm pretty sure it's loose somewhere in my storage, but I have to go through because I got a couple cases that I need to find still. But they're just buried under like countless, you know, boxes and a bunch of other stuff. But Mario Party 4, actually I prefer this one to 5, to be perfectly honest. This game was great. The mini games, as always, are a ton of fun, and of course it's great for when you're hanging out with a bunch of friends, you know, hang out and play some Mario Party. So that's another one I'm glad to have in the collection as well. kind of essential. It's just essential to have, you know, some Mario parties in there. Pretty much a lot of my GameCube collection are like essential games that you need to have for the GameCube. So I'm pumped to have it. The next one, admittedly, I did not beat through as well. I know, I'm a terrible gamer. I get ADD sometimes, and I have a new game that comes out, or it'll be next on my list, and I just kind of forget about the old ones. I'll go back, or I'll think that I'm gonna go back and play through them at a later time, but it just never ends up happening. So it wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to play through this one again too. But Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. So I was a little thrown off at first with there being a first-person shooter on the Nintendo GameCube. Oh, it just seemed kind of wrong to me. Like, I was a Halo player at the time, so I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. It's an interesting game, that's for damn sure. I did enjoy the game quite a bit, and it's gorgeous. It looked beautiful on the GameCube. And of course, the case looks great too. I don't know if you can see, it's got like the metallic sheen to it. And I've got the original sticker that was on here for, what is this, Napster? That's a throwback right there. Napster. I don't know if anyone's even heard of that, but that's an old downloading, like a music downloading site. I'm pretty sure this was after they got in trouble for like the free, like, illegal downloading stuff. But yeah, that's kind of funny that that's still on there. But Metroid Prime Echoes, excellent. Metroid Prime 2. Sorry. Again, another essential game to have on the GameCube. Which some people, I'm kind of surprised to hear that not a lot of people like this game, which this is probably my favorite Mario game, but Super Mario Sunshine. And I know a lot of you guys are like, what? You like that better than the 64 version? Yes. And I did play Mario 64 back when it first came out, which blew me away, and I still love that game to this day. But I love the aesthetic of the tropical island in Super Mario Sunshine. I like tropical things and like that type of aesthetic in general, but being able to just run through with Mario, hanging out on the beach in the sun, it was great. Plus, I like the water, the pack mechanic. I thought that was a lot of fun, and it definitely added a new element to it. So this is another one I'm so glad that I've got in my collection, and it's in great condition as well. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you guys haven't played it yet. Now, again, you gotta go back to the essentials. Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, there's not enough that I could say about this game. I literally love this. This is my favorite version of Super Smash Bros. Even more than Ultimate, which I love Ultimate, don't get me wrong, but you cannot beat Melee. It's just such a technically proficient game. There's a huge following and community of people that still play Melee in tournament settings, as you know, right now. So it's still extremely popular, and I play it fairly often. I don't really play it on my GameCube as much because I actually have a modded Wii that has 20XX. So I have an emulator on there that has a bunch of mods, and it's kind of a better way to play it in my opinion. But it's always nice having the physical copy of it as well. And of course, you know, I still got everything in here, the manual, the book, and all this. Pretty much everything that I've got here is all complete in box. Manuals, everything all in there. There's only a couple of games that I've got that are kind of loose, which I think I still have the cases for, but there's one case specifically which I'm about to show you guys that got absolutely wrecked, but I still had the manual and everything else for it. And that would be Mega Man Anniversary Collection. So I have a love-hate relationship with this game. So this is actually a compilation of a bunch of other Mega Man games throughout the past, all the way going up back to the original. And I don't know, I'm almost 100% positive there's no other way to get access to the other games unless you beat through them all in chronological order, starting from the first. Which, if you've never played any of the original Mega Man games, they're notoriously difficult, and if you can't beat one of the games and progress to the next one, you can't unlock the other ones down the line. So I don't think I got past the second or the third one in here, and I wasn't able to, essentially wasn't able to play most of this game, and it kind of just sat around collecting dust. I love a lot of these games that are on here. It just sucks that I wasn't able to access them, and this is the game that I was just talking about that it's wrecked. Just take a look. So I had a hamster back in the day, and he kept getting out of his cage. woke up one morning, he was gone, and I saw this with a bunch of shavings next to it. So I was like, cool, thanks for breaking out of your cage and ruining one of my games. I eventually did catch him weeks later running around in the basement, but that hamster was a pain in the ass. Don't ever get hamsters, guys. I haven't had one in years, but I will never have one ever again. Alright, next one, Custom Robo. So this game is one of my favorites on the GameCube for sure. It's an RPG where you essentially customize robots with different parts, and you go into like these battle arenas. I got so sucked into this game, and I don't know, it consumed a lot of my time. I actually think I'm going to go back and play through this again because it's been a number of years and I love this so much. The story was great, and Custom Robo, I'm pretty sure it was a lot more popular in Japan. It's kind of sucks that it never got picked up over here, and I would have liked to have seen, you know, more games for like the US market for Custom Robo, but it is what it is, and definitely worth checking out. If you guys have not seen or played this game, definitely try to get a hold of it because it's great. Now the next game I actually have 2 copies of because I have a couple sad gaming stories, which I'll get into more detail maybe in like another vlog or something like that. But essentially I had the Game Boy Player case, which was like a smaller case. Unfortunately I don't have that anymore either. I do still have my Game Boy Player and the game or the disc for it, but I had a bunch of other games loose in the disc because I used to kind of use that to travel when I would bring my GameCube places. And I had a party when I was like, I think 15 or 16, and I wasn't paying attention to some of my guests who I didn't know very well, and it got sucked up, it got stolen. So that case with a bunch of games in it, they got ripped away from me, unfortunately. But I was able to get my hands on another copy of it. So I have 2 cases right here. Of course they're both complete in box, but Crystal, well, one of them obviously is the game's missing, but manuals and everything in both. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Now this isn't like a traditional Final Fantasy game if you've never played it before, but it's a great party game, and I had a ton of fun with it because it took advantage of that cable that I was saying that connects from the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube. So it was cool being able to have a couple of my friends over, have them bring their Game Boy Advances and plug in, because you get access to your whole menu and everything right on your Game Boy Advance screen. So that was a great playthrough, and honestly I still love this game to this day. I might try to get a few people together to play through it again. But I'm pretty sure they're releasing it on the Switch, or it has been released yet. I have to look more into that, because if that's the case, that's going to be the route that I go. Because I love the Switch, and I've been collecting for that a good amount. So, okay, this next one, I have no idea where this game even came from. I don't remember buying it, and I can't find the actual disc for it, but Madden 07. So, I'm actually not a very big fan of sports titles and Madden games, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, what, who do you not like Madden? Like, I don't know, I just never got into it, it's not really my thing. But I am using this. Well, I guess I don't have it in here right now. But I keep my my Game Boy Player case in here, or case. I keep my Game Boy Player disc in here, just so I don't lose it. That's a very important disc to have, and I don't like really just having it out and loose. So I have this extra GameCube game case, and I was like, you know what? This is gonna be the new home for that thing. But yeah, I don't know where this came from. All right, this game is awesome. Blood Omen 2. So the Legacy of Kain series, I love. Whether it be Soul Reaver or Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen games, these games are great. A little bit violent for the GameCube, that's for sure. I mean, you don't really see too many M-rated games on the GameCube, or you didn't back in the day, but as soon as I saw this, I had to pick it up real quick. I saw a bunch of reviews of it online, and I played through the first one and Soul Reaver, and I was like, you know what, I gotta scoop this one up. I played a ton of this game. It's great. It's great. My only issue with it now is, so I have an upscaler, an HDMI upscaler that goes from composite to the HDMI, but the one that I've got right now, it's very dark. So this is such a dark game. When I try to go back to replay it, it's almost impossible just because of how dark it is. So unless you're playing it like the traditional sense, like on a CRT, you gotta figure out a different option for that. But still, either way, an amazing game, and definitely highly recommend it. Alright, So this next one, this was actually my first GameCube game that I ever bought. Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2, a great game. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but this is it's a great title on its own. I played a ton of it all the way up until I was able to get Melee, like I was saying. So my first few games was this, like Pikmin and Melee, but Melee took the cake as soon as I got it. But either way, I played a ton of this game. Definitely well worth checking out. Alright, this next one is actually kind of funny because it looks like I've got some codes, some old codes on here. But The Sims Busting Out, right? So this game right here, if you played The Sims, it's pretty straightforward. It's another Sims game, but for the GameCube. A little bit more limited, but still an amazing game. I had a ton of fun with this game. It's actually funny because they have like their own Simlish like language, and some of the tunes, I don't know if you ever listen to any of the music, but they also speak that same language. And there's a bunch of metal songs on the metal channel that are sick, but they all speak that Simlish. So definitely a great game. Definitely worth checking out. And the final one here that I've got right now, guys, is WWE Day of Reckoning 2. Day of Reckoning 2. So this game I had a ton of fun with because of the customizable characters and the customization. Me and my buddy made a bunch of hilarious characters back in the day, and I played a good amount of this. I'm not traditionally a huge wrestling game fan. I used to like wrestling a good amount back in that era especially. But this game was definitely fun, and honestly, I hear a lot of people saying that this is one of their favorite wrestling games, period. So definitely well worth checking out. So that's pretty much it for my complete in box games. I have a couple of loose ones. I think I got them. I don't know where I put them. Oh, they're right here. These are essentially the ones that I've got floating around right now. I try to keep them in like another case. I don't have them in a pile right here, but I don't know. For convenience sake, I got them stacked. But this one right here, One Piece. I found this one real late in like the GameCube's life. I'm pretty sure the Wii was already out at the time, and it was back when they had like those discount bins where you can get games for just a couple of bucks, which I wish I knew about. I wish I knew I'd be collecting for the GameCube later on down the line, because there were so many cheap games I could have scooped up back then that now are incredibly hard to find or expensive. But this is one of them that I got. I believe that I do have the case for it floating around somewhere, but that's one that I'll have to look for. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. This is another one. I don't know how it got into my collection. It's another random GameCube disc that just appeared. This game, it's a lot of fun. I actually played through the second one more, but Tony Hawk series, you know, I'm sure most people have heard of it or played through it. So that's another good one. Now this game right here, I love Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. I have the case for it somewhere. I need to find that because I love this game. I played so much of it. It's essentially like a brawler Godzilla game with all the, you know, original Godzilla enemies and the creatures and stuff. So if you haven't checked this one out, you should. It's great. And then the final one here is Mario Party 5, like I was saying earlier. I've had this, the case is somewhere, but I gotta find it. I got some cleaning I gotta do, because now that I'm starting to retro game collect again, I have a ton of old stuff that would be nice to kind of bring out and display into my my collection. So right now, I don't really have a setup for any of this stuff, which I need to get some shelving ASAP so I can start displaying this. But yeah, I kind of just keep them right next to me for now, admiring them. Make me want to play a little bit of GameCube. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. I just want to give you a quick little peek at my GameCube collection so far, and I'll let you guys know when I start picking up some more stuff. Hopefully I can get some goodies for a decent price. You know, right now there's tag sales going on. People are throwing stuff away. That's a great place to find a lot of these like old games for a great deal. My buddy and I, well, he's the one that found it, so he's the one that actually kept it, but we found a Game Gear with like 20 games in the garbage, and we were just like poking around just for fun, and then he's like, yo, what is this? And everything worked. It came with the power, the adapter, and everything, so you never know what you can find out there, so keep that in mind. And also, Goodwill, any like thrift stores like that, they usually have, you know, they don't know what a lot of these games are worth, so they'll just put them up for $1 or $2 at a piece. So that's another great place to check out. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple weeks, trying to figure out what's going on with that. But Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And take it sleazy. I'm out. Peace.